Ladies and gentlemen, breathe deep, friends. This is your time. Step onto the mat and give yourself permission to slow down, to restore, and to recharge. In this full body recovery stretch, we rise above the noise, shake off the weight of the day, and return home to ourselves. Together, we move with intention, we soften where we've been holding on, and we reclaim our energy. This practice isn't just about stretching. It's about standing taller, feeling stronger, and opening up space for more life. Let's reset, let's realign, and let's step off the mat ready to conquer the world with ease and grace. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can do for ourselves isn't to push harder, run faster, or achieve more. It's to pause, to step away from the constant rush and remember that our worth isn't measured by how quickly we move, but by how deeply we live. In this practice, we create that pause together. When the world tells us to keep going, to keep grinding, we gently say, "Not right now." We turn inward. We slow down, and in that slowing down, something extraordinary happens. The body begins to speak. It whispers where it's been holding, where it's been aching, where it's been asking for attention. And when we give ourselves permission to listen, we realize just how much healing can take place in stillness. This pause isn't passive, it's active recovery. Every breath you take here is a conscious decision to restore, to give back to yourself, to honor the body that carries you through every single day. Think of it like pressing a reset button. You're not quitting, you're preparing. You're not falling behind, you're realigning so you can move forward with greater strength and clarity. The pause is the bridge between exhaustion and energy, between stress and ease, between chaos and peace. When you embrace this space, you're also training the mind to let go of the constant chatter, the need to always do more. The pause teaches us that we already have enough. We already are enough right here, right now. And when we meet ourselves in this space of stillness, the nervous system calms, the breath deepens, and the body begins to soften. Muscles release, joints open, and the heart feels just a little lighter. This is where recovery becomes transformation. It's not about how far you can stretch or how much you can do. It's about giving yourself the gift of presence. In this moment, on this mat, you are saying yes to your own well-being. And when you step off the mat, the benefits don't stay behind. They walk with you. You carry this sense of ease, this strength rooted in stillness into everything else you do. The pause gives you more clarity in decisions, more patience with others, more compassion for yourself. So as we move together through this recovery stretch, remember, slowing down doesn't mean you're weak. It means you are wise. It means you trust the process. It means you understand that rest is not the opposite of progress, it's a part of it. And when you honor the pause, you prepare yourself not just to survive, but to thrive. Let's take this moment, breathe into it fully, and allow the power of pause to reset everything, so we rise from here lighter, stronger, and ready to step back into the world with calm confidence. Breath is where it all begins. Before the stretch, before the movement, before the stillness, there is breath. And yet, it's the one thing we often overlook. We go through our days breathing without awareness, shallow and rushed, almost as if we're holding our breath just to make it to the next moment. But here in this practice, we take it back. We slow it down. We anchor ourselves in the rhythm that has been with us since the very beginning. Every inhale is an invitation. Every exhale is a release. With breath, we connect the body to the mind to the spirit, and the spirit back to the present. As you draw in air, feel how it expands through your lungs, your ribs, your belly. Notice the way it fills you, not just physically, but energetically. That inhale is life force, it's your power source. And as you exhale, imagine the weight you've been carrying softening, slipping away, melting out of your body. The stress, the fatigue, the tightness, it's not yours to hold anymore. Each breath becomes a tool, a guide, a teacher, showing you how to let go and make room for more. Breath doesn't just fuel the muscles, it directs the practice. When you deepen your breath, your body follows. Shoulders begin to relax, hips ease open, and the spine feels supported. Suddenly, stretches feel more spacious, more fluid, less forced. It's as if the breath is whispering, "I've got you, lean on me." And when you lean on it, you realize that recovery is not only about resting the body, it's about aligning with the natural rhythm that restores balance to your entire system. Think of the breath as an anchor. No matter what storms you've weathered today, no matter what chaos you've stepped away from, you have this tether that brings you back home. Inhale, you gather strength. Exhale, you let go of fear. Inhale, you welcome in clarity. Exhale, you release what no longer serves you. This pattern repeats again and again until it becomes second nature. You begin to trust the process, trust yourself, and trust that this simple act of breathing can carry you through whatever life places on your path. And here's the beauty. Once you experience breath in this intentional way on the mat, you can't help but bring it with you off the mat. In the moments where you feel overwhelmed, the breath is there. In the moments when you need focus, the breath is there. In the moments when your body feels heavy and tired, the breath is there. It never leaves you. It only waits for you to notice it. So as we continue, lean into it. Let the breath be your compass, your anchor, your steady rhythm that guides you through recovery. Because when the breath flows freely, the body follows, and when the body follows, the mind finds peace. So much of what we carry isn't visible on the surface. It hides in the way our shoulders creep up toward our ears, in the tightness in our hips after long days of sitting, in the heaviness along the spine that whispers of stress we haven't released. Our bodies keep score of the moments we didn't let go, the words we held back, the pressure we placed on ourselves to keep pushing. And when we don't take time to release that buildup, it lingers. It turns into knots, stiffness, fatigue, and sometimes even pain. That's why this practice matters. It's a chance to open the door and finally let that tension out. As we move slowly through recovery stretches, each posture is like an invitation to soften, to surrender, to allow the body to unravel in its own time. Maybe you notice resistance at first. The hamstrings feel tight, the chest feels closed, the lower back feels stuck. But as you stay with the breath, as you give the body permission, the edges of that tension begin to fade. Suddenly, the space inside the stretch feels bigger. What felt impossible a moment ago starts to feel possible. It's not about forcing the body to go further. It's about allowing it to find its freedom naturally. There's a beautiful truth in this. When the body lets go, the mind follows. That tightness in the shoulders isn't just physical. It's often tied to stress, responsibility, the weight of trying to hold everything together. When the shoulders soften, the heart space opens, and you feel a little lighter. The hips, too, are places we often store unspoken emotions, old stories, or unprocessed feelings. When we gently stretch them, breathe into them, we're not just releasing muscles. We're setting down the emotional load we didn't realize we were carrying. Every time you soften into a stretch, you're reclaiming a little more freedom, freedom to move with ease, freedom to stand taller, freedom to feel lighter in your own skin, and as that freedom returns, so does your energy. What once felt heavy begins to lift, what once felt restricted begins to flow. You realize that you don't have to grip so tightly to everything you can let go and the world won't fall apart. In fact, it often feels brighter, more manageable when you're not weighed down. This is the gift of recovery. It doesn't just restore the muscles, it restores your whole being. It reminds you that release is as important as strength, that letting go is as powerful as holding on. And when you make space in your body, you make space in your life for joy, for energy, for peace. So as you lean into these stretches, let yourself release what no longer serves you. Trust that every time you soften, you reclaim a piece of yourself. And when you walk away from this practice, you'll carry that freedom forward, lighter, stronger, and more open to what's ahead. When we think of stretching, it's easy to picture only the physical side, the muscles lengthening, the joints loosening, the spine extending. And yes, that's a huge part of it. But the truth is stretching reaches far beyond the body. When you show up here, you're not just opening tight hamstrings or releasing tension in the hips. You're stretching the limits of your awareness, your patience, your capacity to be present. The practice becomes less about how far your body can go and more about how deeply you can connect with yourself. As you breathe into each posture, notice how it's not only your body that's being invited to expand. Your mind, too, is asked to soften, to let go of the chatter and the endless to-do lists. This space we create on the mat becomes a container for something greater, mental clarity. It's like clearing out the clutter in a crowded room. With every inhale, you bring in fresh air, fresh perspective. With every exhale, you clear away what's stale, what's heavy, what's no longer serving you. Suddenly, there's room for new energy, new thoughts, new possibilities. Stretching beyond the physical also means touching the emotional layers that live within us. Sometimes when we settle into a deep stretch, unexpected feelings arise: tenderness, relief, even vulnerability. That's because the body and the heart are connected. When one opens, the other often follows. This is where the practice becomes more than movement. It becomes healing. You're not just loosening tight muscles, you're softening old defenses. You're giving yourself permission to feel, to process, to let go. And in that release, there's freedom. The beauty of this kind of stretching is that it shows you how interconnected everything is. Your body, mind, and spirit aren't separate. They influence one another in every breath, every posture, every moment of awareness. When you open your chest, you may feel not just physical relief, but a sense of courage, a willingness to be more open-hearted off the mat. When you stretch your spine, you might feel not only taller, but also more resilient in facing life's challenges. The physical unlocks the emotional, and the emotional fuels the spiritual. And here's the magic. You don't have to force it. You don't have to go searching for some big breakthrough. All you have to do is show up, breathe, and allow. The stretch will take care of the rest. The body knows how to heal when given space. The mind knows how to quiet when given permission. The spirit knows how to rise when given attention. So yes, we stretch the muscles, but we also stretch patience, compassion, awareness, and love. We expand the boundaries of what we thought was possible, both on the mat and beyond it. This practice reminds us that recovery is not just physical, it's a full body, full mind, full heart reset. Lean into that expansion. Trust that by stretching beyond the physical, you are opening doors not just in your body, but in your life. There is a reason we call this a recovery stretch. It's not just about what happens in this moment. It's about what it gives you for the moments that follow. Every time you pause, breathe, and release, you're not only restoring the body right now, you're also resetting your energy for what comes next. Think of it like charging a battery. When the charge is low, everything feels harder. The body feels heavy, the mind feels cloudy, and even small tasks can feel overwhelming. But when you give yourself time to restore, that inner battery fills back up. Suddenly, you feel lighter, clearer, more capable. That's the power of recovery. It prepares you for tomorrow's battles before they even arrive. The truth is, life will always demand things from us. Work, family, responsibilities, they'll keep coming. You can't stop the flow of challenges, but you can change the way you meet them. And the way you prepare is right here on the mat in this practice. Each stretch is like an investment in your future energy. Each breath you take today is fuel for tomorrow's clarity. The more you give yourself to this moment of restoration, the more you'll be able to show up strong, focused, and resilient when it really counts. And it's not just physical energy we're talking about, it's mental and emotional energy too. When the body feels stiff and tired, the mind tends to feel cluttered and heavy. But when you release tension and reconnect with your breath, the mind clears. You begin to see things differently. That argument that felt so big, that task that felt impossible, it suddenly seems smaller, more manageable. This reset gives you perspective. It gives you patience. It gives you the capacity to handle tomorrow not with burnout, but with balance. There's also something deeply empowering about knowing you can generate your own energy. You don't have to rely only on caffeine, motivation, or waiting for the right mood. Right here in recovery, you learn that energy comes from how you treat yourself. When you rest with intention, when you stretch with awareness, when you breathe with presence, you're literally recharging from the inside out. That's real power, that's sustainable energy, and here's the best part. This energy reset doesn't just serve you. When you take care of yourself, everyone around you feels it too. You show up calmer with your loved ones. You show up clearer in your work. You show up stronger in the face of challenges. This practice ripples outward, making not just your life, but the lives of those around you a little brighter, a little easier, a little more grounded. So, when you think of recovery, don't just think of it as something you do after the fact. Think of it as the secret weapon that equips you for what lies ahead. By resetting now, you rise tomorrow with strength, with clarity, with energy to conquer whatever comes. So often we're taught that strength means pushing harder, grinding longer, and forcing our way through whatever stands in front of us. But true strength doesn't always look like that. Real strength is balanced. It's a blend of power and softness, effort and ease, fire and grace. That's what this practice is about. It reminds us that we don't have to fight our way forward. We can move with intention, with steadiness, with a kind of strength that isn't harsh but sustainable. Because when you recover fully, you learn that conquering isn't about force, it's about alignment. Think about it. When the body is tired and the mind is scattered, even the simplest things feel overwhelming. But when you take the time to reset, when you breathe, when you stretch, when you release tension, you come back into balance. From that balance comes a different kind of power. You're no longer reacting out of stress or exhaustion. You're responding from a place of clarity and calm. And that is where grace lies. It's not about overpowering life. It's about moving with it, flowing with it, guiding your energy where it matters most. There's courage in this way of being. It takes courage to rest when the world tells you to hustle. It takes courage to choose balance when the pressure is to do more, achieve more, prove more. But grace is stronger than force because grace endures. Force burns out quickly, but grace sustains you. It allows you to show up day after day, not in pieces, but whole. And when you move through life whole, you begin to inspire others to do the same. This is why recovery matters. It teaches us how to conquer differently, not with clenched fists, but with open hands. Not with rigidity, but with fluidity. Not with exhaustion, but with energy. When you embody this, you realize that grace isn't passive, it's powerful. It's the kind of power that doesn't have to shout or struggle, because it's rooted in something deeper. It comes from knowing yourself, honoring yourself, and trusting that you don't have to fight to prove your worth. You only have to align with it. And the truth is, when you conquer with grace, you leave more room for joy. You don't just survive the day, you move through it with lightness. You don't just check off tasks, you experience them with presence. You don't just push through life, you live it fully. That's what we're practicing here. The stretch, the breath, the pause, the release. They're all tools to help you remember that you're capable of incredible things without having to break yourself to achieve them. So, as we close this recovery practice, carry this with you. Strength without grace can be forceful, but grace with strength is unstoppable. Step forward not with strain, but with ease, not with heaviness, but with lightness, not with fight, but with flow. As we close this full body recovery stretch, remember, rest is not a retreat, it's a renewal. By slowing down, by breathing deep, by letting go, you've given your body, mind, and spirit the chance to reset. You've created space for strength, clarity, and calm to rise within you. Take this feeling with you off the mat. Move into your day lighter, more open, more aligned. Let recovery be your foundation, and let grace guide your steps forward. From this place of ease, you are ready not just to rest, but to rise, restored and ready to conquer the world.